Behind the blinding beauty of the Taj Mahal lies a secret that history books rarely mention. A night of forbidden grief, a massive golden railing that mysteriously vanished, and a tragic fire that almost erased the heart of the Mughal Empire. You think you know the Taj. You have no idea what's really buried inside. Night descended over Agra on February 6, 1643. Along the banks of the Yamuna River, the Mughal Empire gathered for a moment unlike any that had come before. Emperor Shah Jahan entered the mausoleum he had raised in memory of his beloved wife, Arjumand Banu Begum, known throughout history as Mumtaz Mahal. The occasion marked the 12th annual Urs, the Islamic commemoration of her passing, and for the first time, the ceremony took place inside the Taj Mahal itself. Although craftsmen were still refining many of its decorative details and work across the surrounding complex would continue for years, the great mausoleum had already become the spiritual heart of the monument. It was no longer simply an imperial construction project. It had become a sacred place of remembrance. As evening settled across the gardens, invited guests made their way through pathways lined with fragrant flowers. Ahead of them, the white marble mausoleum dominated the horizon. Its massive dome towered above the landscape, yet its gleaming surface reflected the fading light so gently that it seemed almost detached from the earth below. One contemporary poet searched for words worthy of describing the sight. The back of the earth-supporting bull sways to its belly, reduced to a footprint from carrying such a burden. Yet the same poet believed the monument possessed an almost supernatural lightness, writing, "The eye can mistake it for a cloud." And when sunlight faded into evening, he captured its brilliance with another observation. Light sparkles from within its pure stones, like wine within a crystal goblet. The mourners crossed the monumental southern gateway, where elegant Quranic inscriptions created by the celebrated calligrapher Amanat Khan welcomed those entering the sacred space. Beyond the entrance lay the central octagonal chamber, the architectural and spiritual center of the mausoleum. Every detail inside reflected imperial magnificence. Rich carpets softened the marble floor beneath each step. Fine velvet and silk textiles covered the walls, while ornate golden chandeliers cast a warm glow throughout the chamber. During Urs ceremonies, illumination held deep symbolic meaning, representing the enduring virtues and spiritual light of the departed. As the gathering fell silent, mullahs began reciting prayers for Mumtaz Mahal. Their voices rose toward the immense dome overhead before echoing back through the chamber, filling the marble interior with solemn devotion. At the very center stood an extraordinary marble enclosure unlike anything seen elsewhere in the empire. More than 6 feet high, the octagonal screen surrounded the cenotaph with remarkable elegance. The Mughal court historian Abdul Hamid Lahori described it as being highly polished and pure, with an entrance fashioned of jasper after the Turkish fashion, joined with gilded fasteners. Historical records indicate that this delicate marble screen replaced an earlier barrier commissioned by Shah Jahan. According to those accounts, the emperor had first ordered a magnificent railing crafted from solid gold and adorned with precious jewels. Concerned that such priceless wealth might attract thieves or vandals, he later ordered it removed and replaced with the marble lattice that survives today. Master craftsmen carved the screen from a single block of white marble, transforming solid stone into patterns so delicate they resembled woven lace. Through its intricate openings, visitors could see the ceremonial cenotaph of Mumtaz Mahal resting beneath the great dome. Its surface bloomed with flowers fashioned from precious stones. Their graceful stems and blossoms appeared almost alive, creating the impression that beauty continued to flourish even in death. Flowing Quranic inscriptions surrounded the monument, while a black marble epitaph identified the woman whose memory inspired the creation of this extraordinary sanctuary. The illumined grave of Arjumand Banu Begum, entitled Mumtaz Mahal, who died in the year 1040. Some historical accounts also describe another remarkable feature displayed during these annual commemorations. One chronicler reported that Shah Jahan commissioned an elaborate covering woven from countless pearls. According to that account, this magnificent sheet of pearls was carefully placed over Mumtaz Mahal's cenotaph during Friday evenings and on the anniversary of her death, adding another layer of splendor to the ceremony. While the object itself has not survived, its description remains preserved in historical writings. Hidden beneath the ceremonial chamber, away from the eyes of visitors, rested the true burial chamber. There, upon a marble platform, lay Mumtaz Mahal's actual grave, marked by another white marble cenotaph crafted with the same remarkable artistry and bearing the same commemorative inscription as the monument above. For Shah Jahan, this gathering was not merely an imperial tradition. Within walls of luminous marble, surrounded by prayer, light, and silence, he honored the woman whose memory had shaped the greatest architectural achievement of his reign. On that February night in 1643, the Taj Mahal stood not simply as a monument to imperial power, but as a timeless expression of remembrance, faith, and enduring love. By the early 1640s, the Taj Mahal had become far more than the final resting place of Mumtaz Mahal. Every inscription, every carved surface, and every carefully planned detail reflected Shah Jahan's determination to create a monument worthy of eternal remembrance. Alongside the dedication to Arjumand Banu Begum, the sacred calligraphy incorporated the 99 beautiful names of Allah, reinforcing the emperor's vision of the mausoleum as both an imperial memorial and a place of profound spiritual meaning. For the emperor himself, each visit carried deep personal significance. Historical accounts suggest that Shah Jahan likely traveled from Agra Fort to the Taj Mahal by boat along the Yamuna River, although the exact route cannot be confirmed with certainty. However he arrived, the annual Urs was no ordinary state ceremony. It united private grief with imperial purpose, reminding the emperor that the dream he had pursued for more than a decade now stood almost fully realized. The mausoleum represented the fulfillment of an extraordinary ambition, to create a tomb that reflected the Islamic vision of paradise, where beauty, serenity, and faith would surround Mumtaz Mahal for eternity. Achieving that vision demanded enormous resources. The exact cost of constructing the Taj Mahal remains uncertain because no complete financial records survive without dispute. The Mughal court historian Abdul Hamid Lahori recorded the expense as approximately 5 million rupees. Other historians, relying on later and less universally accepted documents, have proposed figures reaching as high as 40 million rupees. Since historians continue to debate these records, the true cost remains unknown. What is clear is that the project drew heavily upon the wealth of the Mughal Empire. Construction was financed through the imperial treasury together with the treasury of the province of Agra. Shah Jahan also established a permanent endowment to secure the future of the monument. Revenue from 30 surrounding villages was assigned for its maintenance, ensuring that the mausoleum, its gardens, and its guardians would continue to be supported long after the emperor himself was gone. His intention was unmistakable. The Taj Mahal was designed not merely for his own lifetime, but for generations yet to come. One poet of the imperial court expressed that aspiration with remarkable confidence. When the hand of perpetuity laid that foundation, impermanence ran fearfully to hide in the desert. Yet while the emperor devoted immense effort to preserving the memory of the woman he had lost, another member of the royal family gradually became the emotional center of the imperial household. Jahanara Begum, the eldest surviving daughter of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal, had assumed responsibilities few women of her age could have imagined. Following her mother's death, she became the first lady of the Mughal court while also helping care for her younger brothers and sisters, fulfilling the responsibility that Mumtaz herself had reportedly entrusted to her during her final days. Jahanara possessed qualities that made her far more than a royal princess. She received an exceptional education, mastering Persian and Arabic while memorizing the Quran. Her interests extended across literature, architecture, music, and religious philosophy, and she established herself as a respected author within the Mughal court. No portrait can be identified with complete certainty as depicting Jahanara. However, historians have suggested that a painting prepared for her brother Dara Shikoh around 1635 may portray the princess. It shows an elegant young woman standing beside a flowering tree while gently holding fresh blossoms, surrounded by blooming narcissus and lilies. Although this identification remains uncertain, the image has often been associated with her. Among all her siblings, Dara Shikoh shared the closest bond with Jahanara. Born only a year apart, brother and sister developed a deep interest in Sufism, the mystical tradition within Islam. Both eventually became devoted followers of the renowned Sufi master Mullah Shah. Jahanara later reflected on their shared spiritual journey, writing, "Of all the descendants of Timur, only we two, brother and sister, were fortunate enough to attain this felicity." She continued by describing Mullah Shah as both her spiritual guide and teacher, emphasizing the profound influence he held over her life and beliefs. Their close relationship also appeared in court life. When Dara Shikoh married his cousin in 1633, a ceremony originally planned by Mumtaz Mahal before her death and later postponed, Jahanara personally supervised the celebrations. She spared no expense in honoring her brother. The English traveler Peter Mundy witnessed the festivities and recorded extraordinary displays of fireworks. His description tells of enormous elephants carrying fireworks within elaborate structures, towering figures, decorative towers, artificial trees, and countless rockets illuminating the night sky. The celebration marked another important moment for the imperial family. For the first time since Mumtaz Mahal's death, Shah Jahan once again permitted music and dancing within the Mughal court. The emperor's affection for Jahanara only deepened over the years. Contemporary court historians observed that Shah Jahan's love for his eldest daughter surpassed that shown to any of his other children. Then, in 1644, scarcely a year after the 12th Urs ceremony at the Taj Mahal, disaster nearly struck the imperial household once again. According to the Mughal court historian, on the night of April 4, Jahanara was walking toward her private apartments when the edge of her flowing garment brushed against a burning lamp placed on the floor. The delicate fabrics worn by Mughal noblewomen were exceptionally light and richly perfumed with fragrant oils, making them dangerously flammable. Within moments, her clothing ignited. Her attendants rushed forward without hesitation, attempting to smother the flames. Instead, the fire spread rapidly to their own garments, creating panic inside the palace. Before sufficient water could be brought, Jahanara suffered severe burns across her back, hands, and both sides of her body. The accident revealed a constant danger within the luxurious Mughal court. The elegant translucent fabrics favored by imperial women were breathtakingly beautiful, but when surrounded by open flames used for lighting the palace, they could become tragically deadly in an instant.